Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Motegi in the Tokichi Prefecture in Japan, the land of the rising sun, where the stars and cars of the International IndyCar League will duke it out on the oval layout of the Twin Ring Motegi. My name is Sebastian Kinder from Velocity Online Racing, and today I am accompanied by a guy that in a few years back in the Aero 5 championship of the Velocity Online Racing beat me at Indianapolis. It's the one and only John Christensen. Hello, John. How's it going, fellow?
I am doing just fine, and I am quite excited for this one. Twin Ring Motegi, now called Motegi Mobility Resort, is such an interesting track, and I think it'll provide some really good racing today.
It did provide good racing back in the Indy Racing League. 2007, Danica Patrick became the first ever female driver to win in IndyCar. So that's quite a storied track, and of course the road version also hosting the Super GT Championship and MotoGP as well. Qualifying is currently in the Speedway. No, I think it just got done. 30 seconds remaining, John, and it is a fixed time, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about lights and anything. As we see qualifying, Roddy Nifting actually on pole, we see temperatures. It is partly cloudy, 20 degrees in the air. So, John, that's pretty good temperature. We're not going to be worried about the tires overburning.
Oh yeah, I think tires probably aren't. You're not going to see them get shredded. But they're still going to be very interesting, especially when fresh, when going into turns 1 and 2, because those turns really like to make you oversteer, and they can be a devil in disguise.
Indeed. And 3 and 4 can also catch you out. Like, this track is a combination of tracks we know in the US. It has the shape of Darlington and Gateway. 3 and 4 are like 1 and 2 at Gateway, but like 1 and 2 is like a very, very special, two very special corners here.
It's just so unique, and it's always a very difficult challenge to get this track right. You're going to be all over the place, and once you're out of that rhythm, it's hard to get back into it.
We'll go through the points right before we go to the starting grid. Remember, this is season 29, episode 9, so quite a long series standing. Matthias Strauss is currently leading the championship with 593 points. He has a 14-point lead on pole sitter today, Rodin Iftink. In third place, we have David Street, who is only 24 points behind the championship leader. Jason Lowe is fourth, 60 points behind Matthias Strauss. And Ryan Bowles will round up the top 5. As they are lining up, I think Matthias Strauss is in the session, but he'll have to start in the pits because he has not only he's the winner of last race, but also had a penalty, so his rear of grid penalty got transformed into a start from pits. Rodin Iftink, as we said, is on pole position, and he'll be accompanied by David Street. On the second row, it will be formed by Matthias Strauss, but he has a penalty, so he will not be starting second. And Jason Lowe will be on the outside of the double 4. The third row will consist of the 999 Mike West, accompanied by Dan Ench. The fourth row is composed of Ryan Bowles and Liam O'Sullivan, and in the final row on his own will be Rick Lovison, but since Matthias Strauss is starting from the pits, he'll have someone on his outside. So only 9 cars on this track, John. That's if there's a crash, the whole field will be taken up pretty much.
Yeah, that's something that they'll be looking to avoid. I will say this start is will be very good for Rodin Iftink if he's able to get away cleanly, because Matthias Strauss going to be all the way in the back, but luckily if a crash does happen, he's going to be all the way in the back, so he should be able to avoid it.
I mean, he's also starting from the pits, and I thought Motegi was a short track, but it's actually a mile and a half pretty much, so I don't think he's be a lap down. Do you think Matthias will be a lap down due to his pit start, or do you think he'll just be good enough?
He'll be about five seconds back, so shouldn't be too bad.
Shouldn't be too bad. All right, the pace car will enter the pit lane. The flagman is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 9 of the season 29 International IndyCar League. Green flag, let's go racing!
What a big start by Road Tank here. Already multiple car lengths in the lead.
Yeah, that is quite insane, as we saw Motegi Strauss already exiting out of the pit lane, so he'll be fine. And there's quite a lot of, there's a gaggle of cars. Like this, you have Rodin on his own, and then the whole field.
That's where the danger zone is, especially in turns 1 and 2. If you get loose, or 3 and 4, if they start to stack up on top of each other, they're gonna have to be careful when they come back down to 3 and 4 again.
We see Liam Sullivan in the danger zone with Jason Lowe and Mike West.
We're gonna have to watch the gap between Matthias Strauss and Road Tank right now, 7.9 seconds back. We're gonna have to see if that shrinks over time. Is Liam looking to size up another pass?
That's not too bad for a pit lane start for Matthias Strauss. Obviously, the battle on the field. O'Sullivan on the inside, just ahead of Dan Ench. It'll be side by side with West. And Yotoken right behind.
Road Tank already out to nearly a 2-second lead.
That's
right now, it's looking good, but all it takes is a yellow flag to remove all of that progress.
Indeed, a yellow flag, and it's all down the toilet. Stint length for these cars is approximately 26 laps, so we're expecting 5 stops today.
Gonna have to make sure that you are good on pit lane. If it does stay green the whole time, which so far it's looking very clean, not want to have any chance of anything going wrong on pit lane.
It is a tricky pit entry too.
Yeah, coming off that turn is quite difficult.
And we saw so they have to dive on the back straight. So entries in turn 3. So it does kind of remove the tricky aspect of the pit entry, because pit entry in 4 is pretty tough. But John, actually in the Velocity Online Racing, we did race at Motegi, and we also I think had a pit entry in 3, and it's a bit easier than 4, but still kind of tricky, as we see. Wiggle out of turn 4.
It's not super easy though, because turns 3 and 4 are still really tight. And if you make a mistake, overshoot it, you could slide right back onto the racing service, and that would be an ugly, ugly scene.
We don't want to see that, that's for sure.
Look at all the way down there.
He was on the apron, like had his left tires on the apron. Good, shout out to Mike West. Keeping steady despite being on the apron, and as we say here, apron bad.
Apron very bad.
Apron very bad. Eftink 2 seconds ahead of Strida number 48. I mean, the velocity. Yeah, cruising. The Velocity Online Racing ahead when there's a broadcast on the channel. So, we have Julian Altena in our ears, and he's producing the whole show. Still, I wonder what they put in this race car. Probably some jet fuel or something. Rocket fuel.
Is Strauss still hanging about 7.2 to 7.5 seconds back? The gap from first to second is still growing, but it's not as big as it was at the start.
Technical difficulties for our producer. It's the standard issue sometimes when you're broadcasting. Shout out to Amon Lol, who is tuning in the chat, and he's asking, is that the Theo or Daytona winner? Probably referring to you, Mr. Christensen.
Yes, it's so far my only win in the league, but Hopefully, I'll be able to change that around before the season ends.
Still leading Rodin, I think. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool to see being like being I think it's sunset, or is it sunset or sunrise here? It is sunset. It is sunset. Still cool visuals, and it'll make from some banger pictures. As Amolos is saying, Rodin on steroids. Yeah, I agree, fella.
Yeah, he's shrinking a little bit.
Yeah. Strauss has caught up to Lovison and Ench, and he'll be making a move down the inside. I'll take that position.
Phoenix lead under 2 seconds for the first time since the start. So David Strid making up some time. Strid only 10 points behind Eftink.
Look at the run Strauss is getting. Probably on that hybrid button there.
Get a lot of regen time, especially in turns 3 and 4. So hybrid gonna be a factor here today, getting these runs out of the turns.
If I remember correctly, we are on half the regen and full deploy. So this will be very interesting because you regenerate slower than you deploy. So John, that will be a factor, especially if you're in a dogfight.
Oh yeah, it kind of acts as a push to pass, but on the ovals. You hit the button and you get a good boost of speed, essentially. And it can make passing a lot more easier than what it used to be, where you'd really have to make sure everything was perfect to be able to do the pass.
Oh, and Rodin Eftink has lost quite a bit of a lead. He lost a second.
Something must have gone horribly wrong.
Didi got tight and hit the wall out of turn 4. So right now, as Jason Lowe, and we saw up ahead, balls got tight on 4, and Lord was like, thank you very much, I'll take that. 4 is very tricky, John, here.
Oh yeah, everything about this track is just so tough, and that's why I think the winner, you're gonna have to see him have a near perfect day to get all those points, and points, huge factor with the championship being as tight as it is.
As we saw Strid, who just a few laps ago who didn't even see, as we see the driver standings, Matthias Strauss leading, but since he started from the pits, he's the second place in the championship. Rodin Eftink is pretty much liking what is going wrong right now, being leading this race, but Strauss is now slowly making a comeback. He's only a second behind Mike West.
Big factor on why Matthias Strauss has the points lead is because he has the best worst finish out of the top 3 drivers, worst finish of 6th place at Daytona. Everything else has been 3rd or better, and that has given him the edge.
That's insane.
Everyone in the top 3 all has 2 wins each, so it's very tight.
And you love to see it as we get a good look at a Team Watson Racing setups machine out of Matthias Strauss. Also racing in the Global IndyCar Challenge and Nationale Racing.
Much lower in return than Mike West. I'm gonna have to see if he is going to be able to catch him, make a move.
I mean, he's going to be pretty much liking seeing West being higher than him in the corners, because he's like, well, you're giving me clean air. Well, thank you very much, fella.
Strauss still about the same gap behind Eftink at the start, 7.1. So not much time difference there.
I saw the red and black machine. He's in the draft of the 999. And
Be patient.
yeah, we saw the dirty air, like, oh, I can't turn it, there's no front grip anymore.
Probably now on the hybrid. Gonna make that move going into turn 3.
On the inside, West on the outside. Still side by side. Still there. But he'll have the better lane coming into turn 1. And he'll make the pass.
Gave each other a lot of room. Don't want to cause any problems. And avoiding the problems is why Strauss has taken the championship lead. Like West gets all the way, like, he'll be turns 3 and 4. He cuts it really close.
He nearly hit the wall on 4. As we're getting near of the first round of pit stop, John. Lap 24.
And I have to see who can take advantage of the pit entry the best. There's a lot of time to be gained and a lot of time to be lost. Zeeptink's still about 1 second up the road from David Strid.
I guess whatever has happened to number 18, so that he lost a second on the Strid, is not really some damage. Probably got a bit too tight in the final 2 corners. Probably lost that second. And here it comes to pit lane. I thought we were entering in free.
Yeah, that's a little interesting. Gonna have to see how that plays out. But Roden Evetank bringing 3 other cars down to pit lane. Liam O'Sullivan with him. Liam O'Sullivan won race this season, and he won it back at Texas.
Indeed, and oh wait, oh, he missed a spot! Oh no! Liam O'Sullivan completely missed his pit box, and that's like a 3 to 4 second loss, John.
Yeah, because you have to get, especially if you're out of fuel and you overblow, like you go past your pit box. But luckily he wasn't out of fuel here.
Yes.
But you still have to spend time getting it back into reverse and making sure you're in the box.
It looks like he saw because he came in very late in his pit box. I think he didn't see where he was, where his guys were.
As back on track.
I think the rest of the grid pitted, probably.
Dan Inch.
Yeah, only Dan Inch and West haven't pitted yet.
I guess everyone is pitting in 3 and 4, not on the straightaway.
Yeah, I thought that was pit lane into 3, and the producer in our headset also said it was entry into 3, so that's interesting to say the least. Yeah. Well, I mean, probably last minute change or something like that. But if everyone is doing it, then I guess it's probably the green light. So we're back on the original statement of like, yeah, watch out for the pit entry in 4 then.
Roden gained about 1.5 seconds on David Strid on pit lane. Now back at a more comfortable distance. Liam O'Sullivan now 8 seconds back, lost a little bit of time.
Under the threat of Matthias Strauss, like you have a little group of 3 people of Bulls, O'Sullivan and Strauss all following each other.
Develop into a very interesting battle. We have to see who comes out on top. Liam O'Sullivan, teammates, or Roden Evetank, gonna have to see if he plays a little bit of teammate strategy here to help Roden. Right now he's probably only thinking for himself, as it's very early in this race still.
Especially since his almost 8 seconds behind his teammates. That's crazy how much that blunder the pits costed him.
As Evetank actually going to be pretty close to Rick Lovison.
Indeed.
So
as that's the start of lapping traffic, so that's going to be something to follow.
Lap around here is like 23 seconds.
I think it's around that, yeah.
21.2, that's only about 1.8 seconds behind, roughly, for Eftink.
And I think in this series, cars that get in laps need to automatically move out of the way and let the leaders pass.
If so, then won't be too much of a factor then.
Yeah, Lucky Dogs are overactive, so for Lovison it's not the end of the world. The problem is you also have Dan Ench and West not far up the road, so you better hope if you're the number 9 that a caution comes quickly, because if not, he's in a buckload of trouble.
Really like to have that bailout, because sometimes it can come at the right time and you're all of a sudden back on the lead lap with only a few laps to go. Could be in for a really good result. But it's a little frustrating when you see cars not too far up the road from you.
Yes. Ryan Balls on board number 25. Still ahead of Matthias Strauss, but Liam O'Sullivan is getting further and further up the road. Almost 0.8 of a seconds behind the number 63 and the number 25. As we're 207 miles per hour, which is not too shabby considering like it's not the biggest track in the world.
Especially with how it's not a track where you could certainly go flat. Especially here, you see him go all the way down to the 160s. And you got to build up all that speed once again.
Yes, 1 and 2 is pretty much flat out, which is
maybe a little lift just to protect yourself from oversteer issues. But as wide as the turn is, it's really only like 1, maybe 2 lanes.
Yes, it is wide, but it's only 2 racing line, which is kind of a bit sad because
a lot of the passing is basically just going to be setting it up off the turn and diving in before you hit the entry.
As we see West and Ench, wait, no, that's not Ench behind. Yeah, that is Ench. Okay, that is indeed Ench. As we see a replay, oh, late dive, but it works.
That's exactly what I just said. Pass, you really need to size it up and dive it into the turns, especially 3 and 4. Kind of like Indy, but a little bit more aggressive.
A bit more aggressive, yeah. Strait did get a bit, cut a bit into Efting's lead, but like it's only a 5/10 recovery for number 48. A lot of work to do, but if Efting is Imperial on the pit entry, it's going to be tough without a caution to get him, John.
Oh yeah, it's already seeming like one of those days where it's going to be tough to catch him, but as I say that, the gap between him and Strait just fell a good bit once again. So maybe another issue in 3 and 4, awkward throttle lift off. That's all that it can take to lose multiple tenths.
Yeah, seems like that's not the first time he had this issue. He also had this issue in the first stint. So I wonder if there's like a point in the tire wear or tire hitting cycle for Efting that makes him like go funky into field. Although there's another issue, and that is number 9 of Lovison giving him dirty air. That's the first time Strait. We're on board with Strait. Oh wow, dummy me. But I think still it applies for Efting. That he's probably not far from the number 9 of Lovison, and that's the first time he's experiencing dirty air all day, as we see Matthias Strauss finally completing the pass on Balls, getting into the top 5 for Team Boston Racing setups driver.
Yep, just going to dive it in. Not as aggressive as we saw from Mike West. Have a second chance.
Strauss kind of blocked the middle of the track, saying, no, you're not going into my inside.
just gotta make the car a million miles wide and you can't pass it.
Of course, you know, it's like, you know, the cartoons, where it's like the bad guy always have like tires that can go the width of the track. Like, how are you going to pass me now?
Yeah, like ram off the road, but in this case, just plant yourself in the middle of the track and prevents any opportunity for someone to pass. David Stritt is now down to 1.2 seconds behind.
He's getting into that range where he was at the end of the first stint. Now getting also into the dirty area of the number 18 of Rodney Newtink.
Another issue that I thought of, if you look at Rodin's line, goes way down by the white line. Maybe he clipped it just a little, which would make you have to back off just a little bit. Not saying that's what happened, but definitely a theory.
That's
what may have cost him time.
That's a decent call. Stritt also is nearly onto the white line in 3 and 4. As we see the work for the number 48. Sadly, we can't, like, he's not, well, we can't know if which map, which bars he's on. Would be cool, iRacing, if you add that in the replay so broadcaster can see what are the adjustments. But I'm just rambling on.
So we've got 5 cars within 10 seconds. Bowles just a little bit off, but Lovison now should be roughly right in front of Rodin. 25 seconds. I thought this lap was only about 23 seconds, so it might be 26 now in race setup.
Yeah,
there you see him.
Yeah, there we see. Yeah, he's I'd say a couple seconds ahead of number 18. So that's going to be very interesting, because Ifting is going to get that dirty air, as I said, and he hasn't experienced dirty air all day, John. So that's going to be very interesting, especially with pit stops coming up.
Always another new challenge that Motegi likes to throw at people. Gonna be interesting to see how he maneuvers around it, as yeah, pit stops are gonna be soon, which that may be his chance to get by him.
Yeah, kind of like what Michael Schumacher did in 04 at Magny-Cours. He did a 4th pit stop strategy, and the 4th pit stop was just he was coming up to lap traffic, and it was just like, nah, I'm just going to the pits the 4th time, because I just can. That was a day where Formula 1 had refueling, but now it's bad, and it's now sadder than ever. As straight as... There's a bit of trash talking on Formula 1 in our ears, which is completely approved. Liam O'Sullivan still trying to... well, he's got to hope for a caution, John, now.
Yeah, about 7.2 seconds back. There hasn't been a lot of time change between him and the cars in front. Gonna need a little bit more help. A good pit stop could definitely help, but it'd need to be perfect to try to make up that much. As right as I say that. Whoa.
Oh, well, he's
in
the pits or something. Yeah,
oh, okay.
He's in the pits. So Stritt goes on for another lap. So interesting. Interesting strategy differences between.
It will be a bonus point for Stritt for leading a lap, which, with how tight the championship is, only 10 points behind Rodin and 24 behind Matthias.
You gotta take those.
A couple laps is definitely gonna help.
As Stritt goes on for another lap. That's interesting. Which is, yeah, this is interesting because it feels like it's an early pit for Ifting, Lowe and O'Sullivan.
As he will come out right in front of Matthias Strauss.
And Matthias, I think, will say, that's my cue to go to the pits.
I want to deal with that dirty air.
Exactly, that's exactly what I had in mind. As we see, this is very
Grid is
interesting what
also
Matias
in
is
the
doing.
box, I think. Or
He is.
yes, he is.
4
And then will
Firestone.
now inherit the lead.
Yeah. 4 Firestone tires and Shell power fuel into the number 48. Same with the number 28. Interesting to see where they come out. So straight is nearly 2 seconds. 2 seconds behind Rodin Tink. Strauss is
Nearly 3.
Yeah, Strauss is 4 seconds behind Liam Sullivan.
As actually, Jason Lowe has undercut David Strid,
Oh,
and now he's only about 1.4 seconds back from Rodin, so a new challenger approaches.
no challenger, fight!
Liam O'Sullivan gained a little bit of time, about, I believe that's 5.5 seconds back, so time was gained for him, had a good stop. Strauss is about where he was, about 9 seconds, 10 seconds back. Van Ensch still staying out longer than everyone else.
Fuel saving. Although, I don't think you can save a stop today.
Yes, but you could definitely save having to go for a full tank at the end.
You're
Maybe short
not-
pit. And if you go really long, then maybe you could skip out on taking tires if you're pretty close to making it to the end. As he'll come in now.
Into the pits he goes, number 52. Lap 56, so yeah, if he does the same stints that he did previous to, that means he pits around lap 112, so I don't think you're that far off on saying like maybe you shouldn't take tires on the final stop.
However, you're going to have to be very careful of your handling. Yesterday in Velocity Online Racing, it did not quite pan out for me, but I think he could pull it off and gain a few positions out of it. That is if he's close enough, as speaking of close enough, Jason Lowe has gained some more time on Rodin.
And he's right behind him and moved down an inch, coming up 26 seconds behind the leader. That means like, yeah, that's it. We're seeing turn 4 actually, John.
This could be very interesting, as yeah, he's not far ahead. 30 are going to be a factor here. Could make this battle red hot, as gap now down to 0.6.
It's the closest they've been to Rodin today. Reminder, everyone has a fast repair in this race, so if they break the car, they can get it back to the pits, get the backup car, and go out again without much time loss today.
Basically a free pass. Although
Get out of jail.
stewards wouldn't call it a free pass, but you don't when you're racing, you don't really care too much about what the stewards have to say.
I mean, the only thing you care is like, okay, can I go back out again? Yes, okay, cool, thank you. And it's closer now. Lap traffic coming into play into the middle of this race at Motegi, round 9 of season 29 of the International IndyCar League. We see the current schedule. We are now in the last fourth of the season with next week the whole grid will come to Autodromo Nazionale Monza for a 43 lap event on February 22nd. On March 1st, they'll come for a 95 laps at the Michigan International Speedway, a place which is known for a lot of infamous events in the IndyCar history, including the famous US 500 in 1996. Then on March 8th, they come to the Echo Park Speedway at Atlanta, so I guess that's the newer version of the 1.5 oval, and the last race will be on the Speedway at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a 100 lap event, so 250 miles here Race sales are held on Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on US time, and you have at the bottom all the different time zones, and you can find which one you are on. Back into the action as we see also more racing, sim racing coming up on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube channel with Wednesday, the Global IndyCar Challenge coming up in Interlagos. Then Saturday on the 21st of February, the Velocity Online Racing John will be racing at Indianapolis for the 500. We'll be looking forward to that. Then again, as we saw earlier, the following day will be the IndyCar International IndyCar Challenge League. International IndyCar League, sorry, at Monza. Then the next week, then on the March 14th will be Velocity Online Racing at Richmond, and on the 15th of March will be again the International IndyCar League at Indy.
So it will be only Monza and Indy broadcasted for the rest of this season, as Monza is going to be an interesting place to see Roden Eveting because he dominated at Spa, so he's going to be the guy that they're probably all chasing. And that would be a good day for him to gain some points, but he's got a lot of points on the table today to focus on.
Exactly, and you see this whole dirty air and lap traffic situation. Now looks also live in the Stroud aren't that far. Oh wait, no, that's got to next car. Oops. Scratch that.
Roden Eveting right behind Dan Ench, trying to go lower than him to get the clean air. As he's gonna now draft up behind, gonna dive down into turn 3.
Please get out of the way, and boom, done.
That was Jason Lowe's best chance, having a car to slow down Roden Eveting. Now Jason Lowe's going to have to handle it himself and hopefully hold off David Strid. Liam O'Sullivan also not far behind them.
Yeah, only a second and 3/10 for Strid. Liam O'Sullivan is only 2 seconds behind Strid, so still some work to do, but he's not completely out of the window if he plays his pit lane perfectly. As we see, gaining 2/10 a lap, John, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's going to make things real interesting as time. We're a little over halfway at this point in the race. Only a couple more pit stops left, but he gained a lot of time on his last stop, Liam O'Sullivan. So if he could avoid the woes of his first stop, he could be right in this.
Yes. A reminder that Strid pitted later than O'Sullivan, Eveting, and Lowe. So O'Sullivan will probably get another undercut since he pitted earlier than the number 48. As we see the last pit laps, O'Sullivan, Eveting, and Lowe all pitting in lap 51, Strid pitting in lap 53, as did Matthias Strauss. So that will be the top 5 to follow in this latter part of the race.
.53 to go. If you pit now, you would only have about one more left. This is about the length of 2 stints. So it's gonna be, we're gonna have to see if anyone goes early to get off the tires. That'd be a clear indication of tires are wearing. But no one looking like they are getting ready to go down anytime soon.
Not really yet. I guess they're going to empty the tank and pit as late as they can. As we're 51 laps to go into this race.
As Jason Lowe now losing a good amount of time, as he is now stuck behind the 52 of Dan Ench. Not being too kind to Jason Lowe right now.
Right now, this is the job stream for Liam O'Sullivan. He's now almost half a second behind Strid, so that's going to be interesting into the following laps before the pit entry. Number 63.
And there he is, not far back.
And the Horizon Series in the chat. I wonder if that's Matt Wagner, because he said that's Motegi's his favorite track. I do remember that. He said it's usually tire heat the problem, not wear on this track.
As
Liam in the pits.
In the pit.
The undercut.
In the pit probably with 25 to 20 to go. Gonna have to see what he can gain out of this. Was about 4 seconds back from the leader.
Will be very interesting to see where he come out. There's
Jason Lowe as someone.
That was Evening, I think.
I swear I saw debris. Maybe it was just my eyes deceiving me.
I only saw smoke, so let's hope for Rodin that he did not go over the speed limits, or else there would be tears, because Rodin has been very strong.
His pit in lap. Oh, he's gonna cut it very close.
Ooh.
Oof.
I think he barely got it on the speed limit. No penalties for Rodin if
Code Brown.
Code Brown, indeed. Going to need a change of suit after this race.
Does not get sketchier than that when you're headed straight towards a pit in barrel.
Yeah, he almost bended into the attenuator on pit lane. David Strid leading his 7 laps today.
I'm gonna have to see if the short pit is gonna work out for him.
That would be very interesting.
Liam O'Sullivan not far behind Jason Lowe now.
Yeah, not far behind. So he did not. Wait, no, because that's Stridware. So if he's not far behind Lowe, then it's safe to say that he probably jumped Strid. So we'll see.
Unless Strid has a perfect pit in and pit out, then he may have been jumped. As here he comes right now.
Yeah, as we saw, a bunch of people pitting as well as West in the 999. Matthias Strauss also pitting. Again, 4 Firestone and Shell Power Fuel into this Dallara IR18, still on the DW12 chassis, inaugurated in the 2012 season. Oh, as we're getting with Liam O'Sullivan. Yeah, he got him. He got him pretty far ahead.
Oh, and by 2 seconds, he got David Strid. That is absolutely massive.
The undercut.
Now up 4th.
The undercut playing a big game for Liam O'Sullivan.
About 2.5 seconds back now.
Yeah, he's not that far even from his teammates. So now he managed to get him back into the game after his blunder on the first pit. 44 laps to go.
He loses by only like a second and it stays green the whole time, then it would be traced back to that pit stop. He's going to try and make sure that that doesn't happen.
Well, Strauss only 2 seconds behind Strid. No, that will be also something to watch over, but right now, Lowe only a second and 4/10 behind Evetink. O'Sullivan only a second, 3/10 behind the 004. And Dan Edge still continuing his gambit of staying as long as he can.
I mean, 2 seconds ahead, so I don't think he's going to be giving much dirty air to Rodin.
And he's spinning.
Distance. Yeah, he's going to come in now. Rodin, Evetink gonna be the leader, 1.5 seconds up the road from Jason Lowe. But Liam O'Sullivan lurking in the back, 2.5 seconds back, only about 1 second behind Jason Lowe.
Yeah.
As Lowe is in traffic.
Oh, that's something that Liam will like, seeing the person he chases being stuck in traffic.
999 of Mike West, right in front. Jason Lowe.
Cut him. Oh, the
Whoa!
apron! Oh, that's a scare, and that's something Liam liked to see. Apron bad.
Lost about 4 or so tenths to Tink. O'Sullivan gained about 3 tenths. But man, that you don't get away with that every single time. So he's going to be very careful with the white line this time around.
Yeah, that's a yellow card. Next time it's red card, you're in the bin.
Always interesting to see when someone does have that incident of when they hit the white line, and you can see them on the next lap take like half a lane up the track just to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly. I think both you and I had done it too. I think the guy in our headset also did it.
Not a fun experience.
Not a fun experience. Yeah, you're completely right. As we see, only 6 tenths between Liam O'Sullivan and Jason Lowe, with still the 999 giving dirty air to the 004.
I'm going to be about half a lane up the track trying to get the clean air. As Jason Lowe now about 2 seconds back from Roden Tink. Liam way high in 3 and 4.
A bit too high, I think. Yeah, 2 tenths lost on this corner.
I tried to do a high entry into the turn, but just it's stuck there instead of going back down.
You could feel the dirty air, the push for Liam. Like, he turned the wheel, but it doesn't turn.
He's all the way back down by the white line now.
Got back the tenths he lost. So all
you
good
can
for
gain back the tenths, but you can't gain back the laps.
Yes.
We're getting into the final stretch. About 1 stop remaining in about 10 to 15 laps.
Final pit stop will be coming for Liam. Let's not repeat the mistake he did on the first pit. Oh, as he got very tight out of 4.
Jason Lowe got by Mike West. That's going to make things a lot more difficult for Liam, as he has been cutting it very close with the outside wall on some of these laps. So maybe his tires are struggling a little.
If you're Liam O'Sullivan, you probably go again for the undercut gambit then, as soon as you can pit in.
Fortunately, he's still going to have to wait about 10 more laps if he wants to make it home.
Stays behind at 999, the more time he loses.
Roden Tink with the best lead he's had of the race now. Mike West defending, or I think he is backing out of it, letting Liam go.
All right, now it's only them two, and look at how close Stratton and Strauss got. Like, they're only a second. Strait is only 1.2 seconds behind O'Sullivan, and Stroud isn't really that far from Strait either. So the final stint, maybe if pit stops goes well for us as the commentators and spectators, we could have like a 4-way dogfight for the top 3 for the 3rd place.
A lot of points on the table. Strauss, Tink, and Strid separated by only 24 points between the 3 of them. Jason Lowe also not far back. Gonna need a little bit more to help his chances for a championship, but he's not out of it. If he can regain the 3 seconds, he could gain a lot of points today, as Liam O'Sullivan has gotten by him.
Oh, and he got ahead cleanly, so that's a pass.
3 and 4, Jason Lowe
What happened to the 004? We're going to show you what happened, as they're still head-to-head coming to turn 3. So what happened? So that's the replay.
So this is the lap before, I believe.
Not before. Okay, so coming to 1 and 2. A little bit on the high lane.
Wide in the turn.
They get closer here. Oh, and he just went for it.
Just dove all the way down. It's kind of like a dive bomb, but much cleaner than your traditional dive bomb.
Yeah, pulling the slide job on the 004.
As not far behind Liam O'Sullivan, so if he can recoup and try again, he could be back into second, but not much time left as Liam has 3.5 seconds ahead of him to try to chase down his teammate.
See, that's the number 48 of Strid, getting closer and closer to Jason Lowe, and there's a Matthias Strauss not that far behind either. All conversion as we're getting close to the final window of pit stops.
Is this gonna be very tight for these positions? Maybe not as tight for the lead unless something happens on the final pit stop. But Roden was very close to devastating disaster last pit stop. But he's gonna be really careful trying to come around this time.
He has a 3.7 seconds lead, and especially the whole day, no one on pure pace got closer than 7/10 off of him. Lowe got close to like 5/10, but that was with the help of a back marker. But Iftik has been unbeatable today, John.
And that has helped him greatly, as I think with how they run, not factoring in bonus points, they would be tied, as 5th place earns 86 points and 1st place gets 100 points. That'd be your 14-second gap, as Liam O'Sullivan has come into pit lane, I believe.
Yeah. Into the pit he goes. He was the first one to pit last time. He'll be the first one to pit this time for the number 63.
And I believe David Strid followed him.
That's true. Good eye. Number 48 also pitting, trying to get the undercut on Jason Lowe. And Roden is pitting.
Gonna try to cover, make sure that nobody can get the undercut on him.
We have Matthias Strauss leading the race, I think for the first time of the day.
I'd be happy to have those bonus points, especially with how close it stands. Gonna have to see what the gap is on O'Sullivan and Iftank. Roden coming out of the pit should be clear.
There he is.
That O'Sullivan right behind him. No, as Mike West, so Roden still has a pretty big lead with a little over 20 to go. That's going to be tough for Liam to overcome.
Roden has a lot. Yeah, he has nearly 2.7 seconds on Liam O'Sullivan.
I also wonder if Strauss is staying out longer, just to hope that maybe a yellow flag comes out.
I mean, if there's a yellow flag, he's golden. Oh wait, no, he's coming to the pits.
Strauss
Mike was behind.
Gonna try to get every position he can in this final stint. The last thing you'd want is to be deadlocked in the championship. That produces some very do or die situations.
All right, 20 laps to go. We thank you everyone who has come in and tuned into the stream. This is the money time for this round 9 of the International IndyCar League.
2.8 seconds, so about 8/10 was gained on eTank.
That will be
Drid
Strauss and
gonna come
Strid.
out in front.
That will be very interesting to see the fight.
Strauss needs every point to try to keep his points lead. Gonna have to see what he can do.
There's a 4-lap difference between Strauss and Strid. What can the Swedish driver do from this position? The lead Honda of today also.
Gonna be trying to get a run as Dan Ench smokes it up coming into pit lane. Hopefully didn't get a penalty from that.
He's already pretty far, so that's he'll be rejoining also pretty far, so we won't get to see how well this strategy panned out because he was always the last one to stop, as we see Rick Lovison also coming out of the pits.
Drid and Strauss still about 3/10 separate the two.
He's breathing down his neck.
Just 17 to go, so the moves are gonna start to become more desperate to hold position or gain position.
In the trap, coming up to turn 1. Strid goes low. And see, Strike comes up to track quicker than Strid does. Now this is the unfun part. 3 and 4 with that dirty air.
Having to go the same line. Don't get that clean air. Gonna be about half a lane up here.
He's now 4 on the throttle, probably also a bit of hybrid usage for the number 28. Closer and closer and closer. Will he go for it? He goes for it. Diving down the inside and free. Drid still hanging out the outside. They're still side by side, coming to 1. If Strauss can still be on the inside, he's pretty good.
Drid's gonna need to get down if he wants to have a chance.
And Strid still stays a bit high. Will he have the run? Nope. Stroud comes up and he completes the pass for 4th place.
I think Strid was a little bit too safe and cautious there.
Yes.
Which is gonna cost him the position, especially since he's battling this guy in the championship. I'm surprised he didn't hold him a little bit farther down the track.
Also, don't be fooled. Strauss, yes, qualified 3rd, but he had to start from the pits. He won the last race, but also had a penalty. So his end-of-line, quote-unquote, penalty for winning got transformed into a start from pits penalty, and he still clawed back his way up to 4th. He didn't lose time to road and everything, though both had pretty similar pace all race, John.
Yeah, they were pretty close the whole time, somewhere between 6 to 9 seconds. Sometimes it kind of depended on the traffic, but a lot of the time they were doing similar lap times. Not much was really gained or lost, so unfortunately that start from the pits is going to be the difference.
As we're coming to the end of the race, and there's now not a lot of battles we can have, a quick reminder of what's coming up on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube channel. With Wednesday, the Global IndyCar Challenge coming to Interlagos. That will be at 9 p.m. European time. Next Saturday will be the 15th Indy 500 for the Velocity Online Racing Series. That will be at 8 p.m. Then next Sunday will be Monza for the International IndyCar League. Same hour, same channel. Then we'll take a bit of a break and we'll come back on March 14th for the Richmond 300 for the Velocity Online Racing, and we'll come back to the finale of the International IndyCar League for the 29th Indy 250.
Be an interesting one, especially with how the championship fight has been. So it's very likely that it's going to come down to the end. Yeah, 593 down by 14. Road and Tink needed Strauss to stay in 5th place to try to have a tie. I think Strauss might be able to stay out ahead.
And also, a little alert, he's only a second behind Jason Lowe. So if Strauss can get closer quickly to the 004, he can also have a pass made for the podium position.
Yeah, that would be incredible. But he'd need to do about a little over a tenth a lap.
High Lowe is going for 1 and 2.
I said 1/10 a lap, but he just gained about a tenth right there, so he's got a chance.
He's got a chance, I'll give you that. Half of a second behind the 004. This is for a podium position and very crucial points for championship leader Matthias Strauss from Team Watson Racing Setups.
Whenever a driver has a chance, they will do anything they can.
6 laps to go. That's 9 miles left to do in this race.
Half a second now.
A second, he's getting closer and closer and closer, and he's getting low. Look at this. He can look at this, John. Lowe is offering clean air to Matthias Strauss.
Oh, you're gonna need to defend harder than that. You're gonna need to maybe. Oh wow!
He let him by. Is Lowe short on fuel? Does he have an issue because he's slow?
Or fear. Yeah, that looked like he just rolled over and let him have it. He's already almost 1.5 seconds up the road.
Now he has Stridden's mirrors right behind him. Wonder what's happening for the 004. 4 laps to go. 6 miles left to do in this race.
Fortunately, that's the last thing Road and Tink wanted, but I think he'll still be satisfied with the win. Yeah, 29 seconds on that last lap. I think he is trying to coast his way around.
It's that is crazy. That is crazy what happened to Lowe. Wonder if the iRacing auto fuel did a funny on him.
Oh, the dreaded, yeah, always got to add margin laps or just turn it off completely. As O'Sullivan gained nearly 2/10 on that last lap, I still think it's a little too far away for this one for him.
Too little, too late for the British driver. Roddy Nifting led 99 laps today, as he'll be coming in 3 and 4 to the white flag. So we'll be going caution-free today for this race in the International IndyCar League.
Last time the International IndyCar League came to Motegi, it was also a clean, all-green race.
He has been unbeatable. He only relinquished the lead because he needed to do pit stop and other people were doing their own strategies. But coming out of turn 4, the round 9 of season 29 of the International IndyCar League will go to Roddy Nifting, with Liam O'Sullivan going to 2nd place and Matthias Strauss starting from pits to 3rd position. Dominant win for the number 18.
Unfortunately, that's not going to give him championship lead at this race, most likely, but it will get him very close.
Yeah,
and
some points.
Going into Monza, advantage Road and Tink based on the Spa race earlier this season. Jason Lowe holds on to 4th, so whatever he needed to save or whatever issue he had, he was able to hang on to it.
I wonder what happened on that battle with Matthias Strauss.
Very, very strange, but congratulations to Road and Tank. Very, very good race today. Just looked in control. Really only had that one big bobble on pit lane.
Yeah.
And a couple mystery time losses.
And we'll be able to ask him those questions because we're waiting for him to come into the waiting room. So, Mr. Iftink, if you're watching, please head to the waiting room so we can drag you to the commentary booth. As John, before we have a roading in here, your thoughts on this race?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I was pretty surprised on how clean it is. Yes, there was a lower entry, but Motegi is such a difficult track to get right. So for everyone to come home cleanly, I don't even know if there was a single incident point that race. It was a good effort by all the drivers out there.
Yeah, so we'll come to, before the interviews, we'll come to the results of this race. Rodin Iftink dominated this race, led 101 laps today. He finished ahead of his teammate Liam O'Sullivan. It's a Chevrolet 1-2 here at Motegi. Third place and completing the podium will be the Honda of Matthias Strauss, driving for Team Watson Racing. Jason Lowe, whatever he had for whatever issue he had, he still came home in fourth position, and David Strid will complete the top 5. Ryan Bowles in the number 25 Chevrolet will finish in 6th position ahead of Mike West in the 999. Dan Ensch finished 8th, and Rick Lovison completes the field in 9th position. And we'll be bringing today's race winner, Rodin Iftink. This is Sebastian Kinder, the commentary booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, buddy, that pretty much boring race for you because you just stayed in the lead and you completely dominated. Tell us how it happened.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It's just, of course, it started with a great qualifying, starting up front, which I did really prefer here because it wasn't going to be a fuel save. And I think it was very difficult from the practice I'd done that if you have to follow these cars around here, it's quite difficult into 3 and 4. So to be honest, I think starting from pole actually helped me in the win today. And of course, I think Liam messed up his pit at one point, which I gotta say, that helped me too. So yeah, pretty much that. Just keep it alive, which didn't go so well yesterday. So I'm happy it did work today.
Fine, John. Do you have a question for today's winner?
So earlier in the race, there were multiple times where you lost anywhere from half a second to a second. What happened, and how did you recover from that?
Yeah, so I think that's around lap 20, I gotta say, maybe 15. Maybe even 10, I don't know. I just lost my concentration and almost thought I was going into 1 and 2, but I wasn't. I was going into 3 and 4, so I almost ran into the wall there. So yeah, it's just a concentration thingy, but after all, it all worked out, so it's fine.
And you also gave yourself a heart attack on the second to last pit. You nearly crashed into the attenuator, didn't you?
Yeah, all calculated.
all calculated and whole.
Of course.
And you gained a point on Matthias in the championship out of this race. And you're coming to Monza, so that's one of your strong tracks too, right?
Yeah, I think I should be strong on Monza, but well, within the rules of this league, I'll have to start from the back there, so that's gonna be interesting. But I think I should be fast. Yeah, turn 1 too. I mean, I might just go straight in turn 1, just to try to keep my nose clean. No, I think Monza should be a strong track for me. I just hope there won't be too many people participating, so it's not as bad from the back. We'll see, I guess.
We will see. All right, we'll let you do any shoutouts you want before releasing you and celebrate this win.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the team, of course, Julian too. But today, I think, thank you. But mostly Liam today, because this is my first race on this track. I had no idea what I'm doing, so I asked him for some tips, and he helped me out. So I think that's yeah, I'd like to thank him for that.
All right, well, thank you, Rodin, and congratulations for a dominant win today in the International IndyCar League, leading 101 laps. We will see you next week for Monza, and again, congratulations.
Yeah, also thank you guys for broadcasting, of course.
Of course, because we're the best crew.
Yeah, definitely. See you next week.
All right, see you next time.
Yes.
And this will conclude today's stream of the International IndyCar League. Next week, we will be broadcasting from Il Autodromo Internazionale di Monza in Italy, close to Milan, and this will be a fantastic race, a legendary track for great cars. We're going to have good fun. And this will conclude today's stream from Jean Christensen, Julian Altona, and from myself and everyone here at Velocity Online Racing. Have a very nice Sunday, and we will see you next week, where me and Jack James will commentate this wonderful race. See you then.